Hey, I'm Andy from We Buy Records. I'm coming to you from the shipping room of We Buy Records Milwaukee today. We're just going to be talking briefly about like a philosophy of collecting. I try to adhere to it. I sometimes succeed and sometimes I slip a bit, but I call it bonsai collecting or bonsai tree collecting. It's the idea, anybody who's maybe watched Karate Kid knows you work on these bonsai trees, constantly clipping and pruning. You keep them the same size, but they're getting more intricate, more dense, and maybe more of a reflection of the bonsai gardener, or whatever you would call the person doing this, and applying that to records. So saying that in your house or your apartment, you have a finite amount of space for your records, right? Let's say a couple racks, 1,000-ish records or something could fit on this wall. You don't want to start tucking stuff under the bed and in the closet, and you don't want 45s popping out of the toaster. You're going to stick to this one wall, okay? And the idea, of course, then, is that the collection can get more interesting, more valuable, more closely reflective of your musical tastes, but you're going to keep the size the same. So when 10 new things come out, if you're filled up, you got to get rid of 10 things that you're not listening to, 10 things that aren't as reflective of you anymore, 10 things that have just lost your interest, okay? So this is also going to bring in some interesting learning, I think, with respect to liquidity of records, and you understanding when you need to get rid of stuff, that the things that were in better condition, the things that were a little slightly more obscure, interesting, were easier to move along, got you a higher trade credit or sale credit. And it's going to teach you, I think, about that. That's going to also inform how you acquire, and it's going to make you a better acquirer of records in the future, I think. But this idea that you can keep your collection the same size, but that it is still in rotation. Your head's still in the game, your ears are still in the game, right? You're buying still, you're trading, you're selling still, you're keeping this finite amount of space, but you're making this collection more and more interesting to you. You could be upgrading things in some cases, something that you listen to a lot, but you want a better copy of, or just a different version of. But I think in general, it gets really exciting when you're getting rid of like misses, things that you're either sick of or never really end up liking in the first place, replacing them with things that could potentially become classics for you in your life. And therefore, this bonsai tree collection is going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, the same size as it is today, but it's going to be more reflective of you as a collector and a listener. And it's going to, maybe most importantly, it's going to have kept your head in the game, your ears in that game the entire time. So hopefully some of you find that interesting or helpful, and I'll be back in another week with a video on maintaining value in your collection, not losing money by being a record collector. Okay, thanks guys, talk to you next week.